All right, welcome back once again to Let's Talk with the Morel Brothers. Uh, I am your host, Craig,
Where you at,
co-host.
bro? It's Reed. Don.
Simone. Welcome back, guys. Thanks again. Um,
Tim.
we took a hiatus last week. We did a tribute video
Something
to
small,
all the
slight.
mothers out there. So
Speaking of
uh,
mothers, look on mama now.
there she goes. Before we get started, hey, thank you to all the mothers out there, and thank you for watching, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you. Um, Much love, Grenada, Trinidad, all those places here in the U.S. where everybody's watching. Thank you very much for tuning in and giving us a watch. We appreciate you, 100%. Um, so today we are going to do.
Something a little different. So we had a viewer leave a lengthy comment, and we're gonna go through and respond to the comment. And wherever the conversation goes from there, we're gonna just let it flow.
So thank you for commenting, Nelly904 on YouTube. We appreciate the comment. Um, Reen, I'll let you read and we'll dive a little bit deeper
Right on.
into the conversation from 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so Nella904 says, interesting combo. I believe that men and women are logically equal. However, any living organism must have a head, and if it has two heads, one would consider it abnormal or freakish. I think Craig was on point with his perspective, but without getting to define what it means to be the head and or to lead, everyone pounced on his statement about a man being the head. It's not surprising, as most would hear the statement and immediately think of the terribly flawed cultural practices by many, whom, as you've all touched on, are chauvinistic in nature. But should we use failed practices as the example and the reason to invalidate or disqualify a practically legitimate point? Think about it. When you consider any organization, while there may be multiple people on boards and or committees influencing decisions, still there is one head making the final decision. So this notion of having a head of household, if clearly defined and understood, should not be lost in the failures of others who do not understand what healthy and emphasized healthy leadership should look like. One head, one body or entity, but all working together for the good of the whole.
So thank you, Nelly104, for the comment. And and to start it off, yes, I I am 100% the head of my household, right? However, uh within my household, my family's allowed to be individuals. And at the end of the day, if a major decision needs to be made, uh my wife and I will sit and we'll talk. And if I feel like I really need to make the decision, then I will make that decision. However, I don't discount my partner's opinion, and I don't discount what her thoughts. I take it all into consideration, and that's what the head of a household is supposed to do. You sit down and you take all the information and you make a very informed decision. And that's why I'm the head of my house, because that's how I run and structure my home. Uh, we sit down and I made the decision based on all the information given.
Now, I'm gonna go back to the episode where this started. Um, I do agree that some of what was being said did not get clearly defined because within the jokes and the banter, things got a little lost in translation. So, Miss Nellen, I don't want you to think that we were jumping on Craig because he
Oh
said
yeah,
he
you
was
Don
head of
Don was
household.
Don was definitely jumping on Craig.
But it's the idea that as a head of household, you're this all-knowing, all-powerful. There's no democracy. That's the concept that we were striving to shoot down. Because yeah, like Craig said, as the head of the household, you take in the different opinions and ideas from those around you to help formulate the best possible outcome for whatever decision you're making. And like Craig just said, that's what a good leader is supposed to do. So as the man who's providing, who's given leadership, you have to take in the opinions of those who are following.
Mm, I, I still, I still believe that it takes two to tango.
Absolutely.
I think you could have two leaders because in certain situations that I wouldn't be able to lead in, that other person can, uh, and they take the mantle. And that's the point I was trying to make.
I mean, yeah, we said it before.
And society has changed. It's not the same anymore. The woman is just as important in the household as the man as far as providing.
Absolutely.
When we talk about providing as far as financially, women could go out there and make money. Um, uh, Emotionally, mentally, and so and going back to something that was said in the prior conversation we had, can a woman raise a man? Absolutely. So that's my belief. So if a woman could raise a man, she could lead a household. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I mean, yeah, like you say, it takes two to tango. And a good leader is supposed to also be a good follower. We've discussed that before. So there is a you have a valid point. Yes, a woman can be a head of household. It just depends on the dynamic of said relationship.
Now don't that there are some men out there that
Yeah, go ahead.
don't want to be leaders.
Go
So
ahead, say it. Women, men.
there are some men out there that are not real men, and they get into a lot of relationships, and the woman ends up leading the household because they're not leaders. They haven't grown up. They haven't matured. How you say, Timon? What's the terminology you use?
Mature versus what?
Yeah,
They're
macho,
macho,
but not
but
mature.
not mature. And they get into a relationship with women, and the woman ends up running the household because they're not mature men, and they're not they and sometimes that happens. And my belief is that a man is supposed to be that spiritual leader in the house, be that one that can get everybody together to sit down to make a decision. Um, be that person that is there to hold the family together when things are tough, right? To take the brunt of what's going on in front of them, and be strong, and your woman supports you and holds you up while you're taking that brunt, while you're going through that storm, and supports you to keep the family together. And that's the structure that I believe is is set by the Most High.
Okay. Well, I think 2 weeks ago when we were talking about that, if my memory serves me correct, uh, we talked about uh, there's different times to lead as far as um, if somebody's stronger at a point or issue in your relationship, you should let them lead at that time.
Mhm.
and when it's your time, you let them lead. But I think I do agree with Craig some point where um, you have to have a defined leader, if that makes sense. Somebody that stands in front. Um, as men, we're taught if you and your lady are walking down the street, you walk on the side of the street.
Those
If a
cars are
car is
coming.
coming, you be the protector. Well,
I ain't getting no. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't like that rule. Sorry, man. You get it.
uh,
Ooh, watch out for yourself. Who
Would
walking
you
in the
take a bullet
street?
for?
I ain't taking a bullet for nobody.
see, and so I'll continue.
Keep going.
Um, so so with that protection role and that providing role, you should also have some kind of leadership role also. Because if you're protecting and providing, you're the one who are making sure everybody's okay.
Yeah,
And I
it's
think
hard to be a protector and a provider if you can't lead.
absolutely. And so I think um, there are defined roles. I think we, as society, has um, muddled the waters on what that means. Because we have the masculine movement where we try to be so strong, and then we have the feminine movement where they try to be so strong. And we have to just realize that we are not equal. It doesn't mean um, that we are not balanced, but we're not equal. There's things that women could do that men can't do. Without a woman, we can't reproduce. So it's that simple.
I mean, without a man, you can't reproduce.
You'll
my point.
never
And
understand.
But that's my point. So
and
see,
and
there,
that's where
there's
balance come in,
that's the
right?
balance.
Y'all making my point for me.
There's a
No,
difference.
So
I
Y'all
so
making
think
my point for
I,
me.
I
so
I
think
love
that
you guys. I
so
love you guys. You guys making my. I'm gonna wrap this up real quick.
no, but that's my
Pretty
point. And
long
so
time.
I think
I keep going.
once we have to understand our defined role in our relationship, it becomes a lot easier and clearer. Like I said, it doesn't mean that you make all decisions. It means if you look at the structure of the military, it's a general, but it's people under him, and they feed him information to make that
and
decision.
that's and he is the head, right?
Yes,
And he is and he takes in all the information,
correct.
right? And he makes a informed decision for the betterment
Everybody.
of everybody that's in that platoon or
In the army.
whatever in the
Yeah.
army.
I'm gonna pause you guys real quick because going back to the comment that Nellen made, she did say that if you look at a business structure,
Yeah.
you have the board and the committee, and they
Yeah.
discuss everything, but then you do have your final leader, whether it be the CEO or the CFO, whoever is top dog that makes that final
Final
decision.
decision. Yes. I think
But he makes a decision based on
information
all the information put together,
gathered, and
right?
Right on.
I think
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, keep going.
So
I think
clearly defined role.
yeah, they have to
A man have to be that be the head, and there's a lot of men that can't.
I agree, but then that's where um that comes back from growth also because it's if nobody taught you how to be a man, you can't be a man. So nobody taught you how to love, you can't love. You know, and so it's those things you have to always remember. If we look at nature, nature could teach us how to nurture. Because in nature the they teach you how to live your life. When they nurture you, they're teaching you how to live your life. So if you have those emotional deficiencies, then there's no way you know what to do when the situation arises. So when they say there's men who can't be men, is because it wasn't taught.
Dog.
Um. God, I lost my chain of thought.
Yeah, that's exactly who you call on.
But going back to what Simone was saying, he was saying that a man and a woman is different, right?
Absolutely.
So a man is going to have strong points in a certain area, and a woman is going to have a strong point in another area.
And that's correct.
So my little mind is not is in my little mind it is telling me that okay, so this person here could lead in this area because they have more of an understanding. Because in life, everything is about understanding. It's understanding where you're at, right?
Mm.
It's understanding who you're with and the purpose you're with that person.
And understanding your
Right.
role.
Right, we're going back to
Right.
role, right?
Right.
Going
You,
back to
you
role.
understand your role.
So you could be a leader in your role, right? In the household, the lady could lead in certain areas of the man, and then you have two leaders. You guys made my
No,
point.
no, you
You can't have
you
two
can you
leaders.
cannot.
Yes,
You
you
have
can.
Because you have two
You-
leaders, you always have conflict.
you have conflict.
No.
You have
Yeah,
you have one leader, and then you have people that's under you, right?
It's a pyramid.
That have leadership qualities, right? That
y'all
that
like
that you
submissive-
delegate.
Y'all like submissive women.
No, it's not. No,
So-
that's
That's
not
what
being
I'm
submissive.
y'all.
So
It's not about being submissive.
it's
Let me see if I can help refine what Don is saying. Because in my head, what I'm hearing him say is it's not that it's two leaders. It's I'm leading, but now that I've reached a point where my leadership qualities don't suit the situation, I step down and you step into the lead role. So I am no longer the leader.
So I'll give you a good
Correct.
example. Don is like the birds flying south. There's one in front, and when he gets tired, another one goes in front to take the lead. That's what you're describing.
your duck.
I'm not saying I'm a duck.
I like hyenas.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but birds do that.
Yeah.
Because they take the headwind, and when they get tired, another one take the headwind. So that's what you're saying.
I'm just saying that in certain situations when when you're with somebody and you have to understand again. I hate to be repetitive, but understanding is key. To understanding where you're at, the situation. If you understand where you at, you can step down and be like, you know what, babe, you better than me in this. Why don't you go ahead and lead?
And there's nothing wrong. And that's I don't think
And that's what a good head would do.
Yeah.
That's what a good head
So I mean,
would do.
so in certain situations, you have heads.
And so you
Right.
you're making
So
my
she-
point.
no,
There's
no.
only one head. There's only one head.
Well, I'm not having this conversation with y'all no more.
There is only one head.
Y'all
There can only
chauvinistic,
be
man.
one
No,
head.
it's not chauvinistic,
Yes, y'all are,
Don.
man.
No, because
There could only
We
be
don't
one
like
head,
strong
bro.
black women. Not saying y'all
It-
don't have strong black wives.
But-
Ladies, don't come for me now.
There,
Just
there
don't
could
come
there
for
could
me.
only be one head.
Meow.
I didn't say that because there's positions where a woman will lead, and there's positions where a man would lead. But at the end of the day, when there's a decision, a final
Decision to be made. The head have to make that decision.
to make a decision
And
with the
real
best interests of
real
everybody.
real women knows to let her man lead.
Yeah.
That's what real women do. Even though they make more money than him, even though they
that's a touchy
e-
statement.
even though they know
Yeah, more
they have
education.
more education than him, even though they let their man be the leader.
Because there's a time and place for everything. There is a time and place for everything.
It is, man. I'm just saying, bro.
And
I'm just
listen,
saying,
what you're saying. Listen,
we're in a different age.
yes.
We're in a different environment. It's a different woman. It's not the same woman we're dealing
It
with.
doesn't.
Yeah,
It's
but
a,
Don, listen,
look,
what
a woman is a woman.
We ain't dealing with
Oh,
the same.
look,
Wait, you're not
a
letting me
woman is
finish.
a woman.
We ain't dealing with the same woman we're dealing with as mama. We're dealing with these different ones now.
Yeah, but
Pause. I
Wait.
want to say this before we
What?
get too far, because you're saying we're dealing with different women, right? But as we scour through Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media you have, one of the things I hear consistently from women is they want a man who could provide. They want a man who could lead. They want to feel
Protect.
secure. They
Yeah.
want to feel protected. So, in a sense, we are dealing with the same thing. It's just they're gift wrapping it a different way.
Yeah, and listen, what Don is saying is not necessarily wrong. I think just our ideas are different.
Yeah, we could be in the same spot, but just be thinking about it in
in a
two
different
different
way.
ways.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it's just it's not. There's nothing wrong with because listen, if somebody when there's a project to be done, you look at the project.
You got a project manager.
You work at you look at everybody's strength and you say, you know what, today, Craig, you take the lead in this one because you're stronger at that moment, and I think that's what Don is trying to say. But at the end of the day, he's still not a project manager. He's just the person in the lead at that time.
Just he's in the lead at that time because
You gotta
you have all the
you
strengths
cannot
to carry us to be successful in
you
the
cannot
situation.
have more than one head making the decision.
Okay.
Because if you have more than one head making decision, guess what? You ever heard the term too many hands in the cookie jar? When
Too
you have
many chiefs, not enough engines.
when you have too much hands in the cookie jar, you know what happens? Things come up missing. Things go awry.
If my hand in the cookie jar, something coming up missing anyways.
But yeah. So I think um, we just have to look at it from that kind of perspective and be open minded.
And being open minded is not a bad thing.
No,
I am definitely open to my wife taking the lead in certain situations. If my wife she works in pharmacy, I'm not gonna go to a doctor and tell him and tell him, oh well, I ain't taking this without talking to my wife, right? And if my wife say, you know what, babe, I don't think you should take this because this is what it does, then of course that's where she's strong. I would definitely listen to her and take her advice. I'm not going to discount what she says because I'm the head of household.
Hey, shout out to all the heads of household out there. If you're the head of your household, like, share, subscribe. You already
Look,
made it this far. With
even
us.
if you're not the head of your household, like, share, subscribe.
Dang, how you just gonna undercut me like that?
Hey, I'm just saying.
Because he's the head.
We need
That's
we
what the
need
head does.
we need all of you.
Too many chiefs, not enough engines, man. Just saying.
Guys, thank you for tuning in today. Please
Trying to take the lead.
please comment.
Feels to cut you off.
Please comment.
Just
Please comment.
Again, shout out Nellen 904. We
We
appreciate
love your comment. That was 100%. We love it. Timon, you got anything?
no, I'm good. Listen,
Well, we'll let Don go ahead and wrap us up in a nice little bow.
And
All I gotta say is to everybody out there in the internet world, I love y'all. If you with somebody, treat them with respect. Make sure that you communicate because that's the key in every relationship, whether it's a business, friendship, family. Communication is key. One love.
One love.
Subscribe. Stay up.
we love you guys. Thank you for joining us today.